Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 32. Okay, so all three of our regional championships have now been completed, and officially now is the time for us to move on to our first car type event in this game. And by that I mean we're basically going back to the drivetrain event once again, so it's now time for the Amateur FF Challenge, and as of which, for this, just because I want to, I'm going to use the Beetle again. Just because I want to. And basically what I'm going to do now is put some more tuning on this thing. Oh okay, I already have a stage 2 engine. Well, yeah, what the hell, I'll put on the port polish. Although I'll just check to be sure. Okay, and I'm basically going to go for the sport tyre strategy, because I have heard it is possible to win with that strategy, regardless of how off the pace my car may be. Also, I'm also going to purchase the racing transmission, in case if speed becomes a problem. And I think that's about all I need to do, as of which it's now time for us to head over to the FF Challenge. So, 3 races here as we are going to Deep Forest, Rome Reverse and Apricot Hill Raceway Reverse. So 5 grand if we can win each of these races, and I'm pretty certain this will not be a clean sweep, because it may take a few attempts for me to win with this particular strategy, but I am willing to risk it. And these are the cars we're up against. So we're up against a Honda Civic VTI along with a Civic Type R, a Honda CRX with a Toyota Celica SS and an Alfa Romeo 156 V6 24V. And do I have them off? Yes I do. Let's get on to this, and also furthermore, I should probably note, this is the first event where we witness tyre damage. So that too could potentially be a problem within 5 laps, but obviously I'm still going to risk it anyway, because it is possible to win this event using sport tyres. I am prepared, of course, to take the sports tyre gamble just to win this race, regardless of how probably dead these tyres are going to be at the end of the race. But I am prepared, of course, to take the gamble, because I have to. Also because I want to simply put it. As of which, I am already off to an early advantage. But I'm pretty certain by the time we get up to the end of the 4th lap, these tyres are going to be dead, because of how quickly the sport tyres wear in this game. But I'm still prepared to risk it anyway to see if it's possible for me to win. And if I do manage to clinch victory on this huge gamble I'm taking, then obviously it will definitely be a point in proving, of course, that the Rhino GT4 strategy of using sport tyres in an amateur league event with tyre damage is possible. Even though obviously I have the disadvantage in terms of speed, and my TV is still glitching for some reason. At least it looks like it's glitching. And I'm hoping it won't be too much longer before I can officially get myself a flat screen TV, and not just a high definition one, which is essentially what I'm using, and it's probably more than a decade old now, methinks. Because I'm using a Panasonic. And effectively it's basically the same Panasonic I've had on my desk for like, what, 5 years now? But I did of course decide I was wanting to cut myself some slack and just try the gamble myself and see if it works. Because obviously, if Rhino is able to prove this strategy works, then obviously I am prepared to gamble under certain circumstances. Even though obviously I'm using a VW New Beetle 2.0 and not a Chrysler PT Cruiser. At the moment, not too much wear on the rear tyres, as of which I think most of the wear is on the front tyres. And also, like I've said before, rubber banding in the amateur league like it is in the beginner league. If you have a car that's able to keep up with the AI, then obviously rubber banding is still pretty strong in the amateur league as it is in the beginner league. But as for the professional league, rubber banding is nowhere near as strong because obviously the races are much longer. But at the moment, it looks like the gamble I'm taking might be able to pay off, regardless of how dead my tyres are probably going to be after lap 4. But I am managing to hold my own against the AI at the moment. Because somehow they are not mounting any challenges. And looks like the margins up to this point have, I would say, stabilised. Because that's basically just the way it is. And since I already have a replay saved of this car around Deep Forest, obviously, this is not going to be the replay I'll use. And I'm pretty certain that obviously this AI will probably pit before this race is done. At least one of them will, because of tyre wear. Considering obviously this is the first time in this game that we actually get to see tyre damage. And my front tyres are definitely getting worn, so it will definitely not be far. It will definitely not be much longer before one of them enters the red zone, because that's probably what I predict is going to happen. But again, it's still a gamble I'm willing to take, and obviously if I do gamble on this race and I manage to win, then obviously I will definitely say to you as the viewers, this is a gamble worth taking if you are willing to be a risk taker. Subsequently speaking, of course, but yes. If you are willing to take as much of a gamble in comparison to what I'm taking, then obviously, you can go for it. And looks like my front tyres are definitely showing some signs of wear. These AI are catching up again, but obviously I'm able to extend my margin through the corners, because even though his AI are quicker than me down the straights, this course is mostly comprised of low-speed corners, and that's essentially what is keeping me up ahead. Typically challenging corners, of course, but obviously I am managing to hold my own against the Honda Civic, and against all the odds, it looks like I am probably going to pay off with this gamble. Looks like the odds have come with me. And officially, it does look like I am going to win this race. at least the first race. So, right front tyre is showing some wear, but obviously it will not be enough to stop me from winning this race, and officially it is victory once again at Deep Forest. And I do believe the Celica SS is basically the tuned version of the Celica. At least I think that's what that's meant to be, but anyways. I beat the Type R by over a second, and officially I now have a 250,000. So, beat the Type R by just over a second, then it was the Celica SS, followed by the Civic EG, then it was the 156 in 5th, and then at the back it was the CRX. So, pretty close race overall, but officially, let's now head over to race number 2, where we are going to Rome Reverse. And will the AI have the upper hand over me? Probably, but I'm still prepared to risk it. Because if there's any hope of me winning with the scalpel, then obviously I will definitely take that and see if I can put it in my favor. Because that is what I'm prepared to do. Also, shifting up into 3rd gear so I can limit the wheel spin. And as far as I'm concerned, I would imagine speed will still be a problem. As I just dart up the inside, and immediately I'm now up into the lead. But again, speed is probably going to be a problem. Because obviously this course has more straights than Deep Forest has. And obviously, by the time I hit pretty much like 207 kilometers an hour, that's pretty much when I've hit maximum speed. And then once that has happened, that's basically when that is pretty much when I can see myself probably struggling to hold on, because I think tyre wear is probably going to be different here compared to Deep Forest, and I think the tyres here in Rome are probably more likely to wear than they were at Deep Forest. But at the moment, of course, the Alpha is surprisingly running in 2nd. So there must have been a lot of shuffling in those first couple of corners. At least in the first 2 right-handers there must have been a lot of shuffling. And at the moment, of course, I am officially holding on to the lead. Oh shit, I scraped the wall. But somehow it did not cost me too much. And it doesn't look like speed is going to be an issue. But again, because of how strong the rubber banding is, obviously, these AI are keeping up with me pretty well at the moment. So, at the moment, I have no doubt in saying that one of them will eventually try and move on me. But if I do manage to make this event a clean sweep, then I will be very surprised. And at the very least, it will prove, of course, that you do not need slick tyres in order to win the event overall. Anyways, Race 2 of the FF Challenge. And it looks like at the moment I'm probably going to be holding on to the lead. And the Civic trying to make a move on the Celica for 3rd position, but at the moment his moves are not paying off, and ultimately I would imagine the Civic probably will not be a contender for the win. And this time I'm going to ease off the throttle so I can actually make the corner this time. And ultimately this time I am successful in not scraping the wall. And just about hitting max speed there, but ultimately it doesn't matter because this is a city course. Ultimately, I am in no real threat of danger. So I still have 3 laps to go, but I'm pretty certain I have just about all the tuning I need to hold on to the lead. Looks like everyone up to this point is pretty much stacked up single file. And even though I'm not extending by that much, the truth is I am still managing to hold on to the lead, which is one thing I didn't think I was going to do before I started this race. So I think that proves I've definitely come a hell of a long way with this new Beetle gun from when I started the game. Considering obviously this is the car I've driven the most, and this event is only just going to further solidify the mileage that I've taken with this thing and my trickery in terms of tuning. Because I've definitely given this thing a lot of trickery since I started this game. I mean, I know by now it probably seems a long time ago, but obviously this thing has definitely come a hell of a long way since I started this game. And effectively, we now have 3 cars in contention for 2nd place. So, officially we have just 2 laps to go, and if I can manage to hold on to the lead with these tyres, then hopefully I should be able to win this under similar circumstances as to how I won Deep Forest. And it doesn't look like tyre wear at the moment is proving to be too much of an issue. But obviously, I still cannot afford to bottle this because Atalika is looking strong, and he is definitely not out of contention for the race win. I can assure you of that. But if I can just manage to control the pace and not slide on these worn tyres, then I should be able to win this race. And a little bit of a mistake there because I scraped the Armco, but it doesn't look like it was too badly effective to prevent me from winning this, and officially it does look like it will probably be 2 wins out of 3 for the Beetle. Proving of course that this thing still has some speed. And scraping the wall at the end of the front stretch for good measure, as I would expect myself to do it. Meanwhile, further back, his AI are really shuffling for positions, and it looks like the Alpha up to this point has pretty much fallen back. So, unfortunate timing for the Alfa Romeo, but obviously for the rest of the field, it's still pretty much all to play for. Evidently, I am still managing to hold on to the lead. So pretty much the same amount of tyre wear here in Rome as it was at Deep Forest, and I'm pretty certain this will probably be another victory if I can just manage to hold on it's itchy again. Probably have to scratch that after I cross the line, regardless of how annoying it is. Anyways, heading through the final corners, one corner to go, and this time managing to avoid the wall and coming across the line, and I also set a new best lap time. So there we go. I won by 1.3 seconds over the Celica, then it was the Civic in third, the Alfa Romeo 156 eventually dropped down to fourth, then it was the Civic in fifth, and then at the back it was once again the CRX. So, Volkswagen has once again beaten the Japanese. The Japanese power of Toyota and Honda. Anyways, third race, and it is at Apricot Hill Reverse. Just having a sip of water, so my voice can survive the intensity of this final race. And furthermore, in this race we now have an FTO, so this could very much be a challenge, considering we now have an FTO in this race. So this could very well be a challenge. But let's just get on with it before I start ranting. Because I do have a fast race car, but it just depends on knowing if speed will be a problem. Because obviously, I have a pretty low top speed compared to the AI, but I'm still prepared to risk it anyway, because I still think there is a shot at me getting the win. And hopefully, I will manage to put this car's acceleration to good use. Excuse me. And the Civic just cut the chicane, but obviously I did manage to make the chicane, and I have a feeling that since I'm now battling the FTO, he will probably be a bit more of a challenge. Considering obviously I have quite the disadvantage in terms of straight line speed. And obviously I'm hopeful that will not be too much of a problem once we get down the front stretch, but I'm pretty certain I will hit my top speed before we reach the end of the lap, and obviously that could be a problem, but I'm hoping it won't be, because I want to use this car's acceleration to its advantage. I would imagine speed once again on the front stretch is going to be a problem. And not in terms of acceleration, but I mean in terms of actually trying to hold off the challenge. Because I'm definitely nearing my max speed. And doesn't look like it is going to be a problem. Even though I wasn't far off. So, don't think I needed to do the port polish, but obviously I still did it anyway, so I could make this just a little bit easier. Considering obviously that is something I thought about doing. But officially, it looks like, at the moment, this race could be a potential clean sweep. But that also depends on knowing how far exactly these tyres will manage to go before one of them blows. Even though obviously tyres are not a particular problem, they basically just wear down. Well, if one of them is in the red zone, they don't necessarily blow. They still stay together, but obviously they just don't have any reasonable wear left in them anymore. So, you know, punches don't happen in this game, but obviously you basically just end up driving a very ill-handled car. If tyres should become such an issue. And unlike his AI, I am managing to stay on track. Because I'm actually managing to make the corners and not cutting them. So obviously, that is one advantage I have, because I'm racing clean. And this is officially where I'm going to be saving the replay. Because that is something I can do. Anyways, 2 laps to go after this one, and at the moment I would say it is very much looking like this race will be a clean sweep. But at the moment I'm currently 1.3 seconds clear of the Mitsubishi, and oddly enough, like with all the other races, I am virtually unchallenged, basically. And obviously I'm trying not to boast, but well, that's just the truth. Just hitting top speed there, but fortunately that is not as much of a problem as I thought it was going to be. Guess I must be thinking of Gran Valley over Apricot Hill, but officially this does look like it's going to be a clean sweep. If I can just keep my nose clean and not do anything stupid, I should be able to hold on for another easy victory. So that pretty much means the sports tyre gamble is definitely worth taking, and essentially you pretty much have every opportunity of winning these races if you take the gamble, which is essentially what I've been doing. Officially heading down the front stretch once again, starting the 5th and final lap here at Apricot Hill Reverse, where I am pretty much on the money lap. I would say up to this point victory is pretty much guaranteed, if I can manage to survive the rest of this lap. So, noticing a lot of wear on the left front tyre, but obviously don't think it's anything to be concerned about, because I've taken the gamble, I've won 2 times already, and if I can just survive these S-turns without making any major errors, I should emerge with an easy dub. Just one more corner to go, and then officially I am once again the winner with my new Beetle 2.0. So there we go. The sports tyre gamble has paid off, and as a result it has also made the FF Challenge a clean sweep. So the FTO finished in second, followed by the Celica in third, then it was the Civic Type R in fourth, followed by the Alpha 156 in fifth, and then at the back it was once again the Civic EG. And just before I forget, yeah, this is 32. I am officially going to save the replay. And the reason why I chose Apricot Hill Reverse is essentially because I saved it running reverse in the previous segment. Anyways, prize car time, and what do we win? We win the TRD Celica. I think this is the M Sports model from what I can work out. But anyways, it's a Tunes Toyota Celica and the FF Challenge is a clean sweep. So as a result, we are now 29.1% complete, and officially this is our prize car. The Toyota Celica TRD Sports M. And I think as far as I know this car is also natural aspiration. Yeah, it is. But officially this is the prize car we win from the amateur FF Challenge. Nice. Very nice. Right, I'm done. So that was the amateur FF challenge, and next time we will be doing the FR challenge. Stay tuned.